Hello there. Man, I had this cool intro about losing those for spots and stuff, and not being able to grind because of it. While those situations did arise, I was dumb enough to not record them. So let's just get straight into it. Are life skills good? Yes, most of them. Why should you perhaps consider life skilling and getting into it? Because silver. Just kidding. Nothing, and I mean nothing in this game comes close to the amount of silver you can make from PvE. There's the two most profitable life skills compared to the rest that I will name once I get to them. So hope you enjoy. I pushed my tiny red fingers into every life skill again to find out how would getting into life skills feel. Okay, all the life skills but one or two, and I will mention that when I get to them, depend on mastery. If you don't know what life skill mastery is, I'm gonna explain briefly. It's pretty simple. It's your limiting factor. You want to get it as high as you can to get as much profit as you can. And this has a caveat that the more you put in, the more you will be able to get out of it. This is also impacted by the level of your chosen life skill or life skills, because each level will grant you 5 mastery. The only other thing you should know is that every 50 mastery is treated like one bracket. If you put in too much silver, you might have the trouble of getting it back, depending on your chosen profession, right? Okay, now that's out of the way, I recommend you buy all of these. And before you even think about enhancing the funny life skilling gear, I should let you know it's incredibly expensive and, depending on your luck, incredibly cursed. Don't do it. So for a start, to get into them, I recommend 2 TRI Logia earrings and 2 TRI Logia rings, together with getting 2 Floramos accessories. Don't get confused, Floramos is basically a Trimanos. Okay, so since mastery is what you want, here's how to get the Floramos necklace and a belt, which will boost your mastery by 150. First Floramos you can get is from a one-time quest that you can get from Lana. This is how you get the drops for it. Gathering with a magic tool will get you there sooner or later. Alternatively, you can cook or do alchemy. Speaking of cooking and alchemy, here's 2 recipes. Beer is for cooking, clear powder regions are for alchemy. These are the simplest to make. In case you want something more future-proof for cooking, go for Essence of Liqueurs. I will talk more about obtaining the materials when I get to the upcoming cooking segment. For now, here's just the recipe for it. The second foremost accessory you can get from doing the season. If you haven't gotten sick of doing seasons, well, here's your chance for it. Keep in mind, there's 3 rarities for life skill gear: green, blue, and orange. I don't know what this color is, red, whatever. I recommend you skip blue accessories. However, blue clothes and tools are okay to get if you plan to stick to them for a while, progression wise. So you should treat life skills as supplementary income and your life skilling gear as alternate account progression. If you just wanna do life skills though, well, just treat it as your primary income and primary account progression. Allow me to briefly pull you away from spinning in circles and point you to the nearest and greasiest fast food place. Your house, that's right, vegan go cooking. This one shines when combined with farming and gathering or hunting. Get a residence, get a cooking utensil, go to your residence and plop it down. Go to the storage manager and rent a container. Go back to your moldy house where your cooking utensils are and put it down. This will enable you to access your storage from your house. If you did the Magnus quest line, you can access all the storages from every discovered city. How does cooking work? Well, you look up a recipe, you throw things in the pot by following a said recipe, and a finished product will come out. All the while you are putting the fastest McDonald's worker to shame with your 2-second cooking. So what do you cook? Well, depends on what you want. XP, you can spam Valencia meals. Money, you can spam Valencia meals. Sorry, trying to make a point here. Let me explain. The biggest profit is often related to complex recipes and usually requires you to farm and gather or hunt in order to be able to stock up the mats to make them. This will require high mastery to take maximum advantage of. Your goal should be making boxes to last you at least 2 to 3 days. You know, the best is not why I made this. There is a budget option and you don't need to be too high a level to start. Meet the coconut cocktail. Incredibly simple to make, plus no need to gather or farm anything. So let's go through the steps to make them. You get strawberries from a fruit vendor in Calfion, corn from Velia, and wheat from these two nodes near Hydo. Leavening agent and mineral water are sold by a cooking vendor. Now, you'll have to do some prep work by making dough and flour, but let's stick to flour for now. So before we start this, go to BDO and see how much you will need of each material in total, because math is hard. So just put in the number of boxes and, start getting stuff into the storage. Okay, once that's done, get your wheat and corn and press L. Grind all the wheat and corn you have into flour, okay? Then use 1 flour, 1 fruit and 1 leavening agent to get essence of liqueurs. Once you have gotten that, we go to another ingredient. And I don't know what this is and however you pronounce it, but it also needs to be made. So here's the recipe. You get corn dough or wheat dough by shaking flour with mineral water. I used corn, but you can use whichever flour you have, or you can just buy dough from the marketplace, which also works. After this stuff, you can just bang out coconut cocktails. Imperial Cooking, process 58 green or 18 blue ones to get yourself an artisan box. Okay, that's how you make it, but why should you consider making this? Well, is it the best money? No, but it is one of the best. So you can make a few batches after some time simply from having your workers running, or just by buying coconut off the market. You can make it and use it to stock up on artisan boxes for your daily turning cap. This is determined by half of your contribution level. Is it the best XP wise? Yet again, one of the best. Aside from all of that, as I said, it's also incredibly easy to make. Let's move on to the next topic. What does mastery do for cooking? Well, the higher it is, the bigger the chance of activating mass cooking and getting bigger profits from imperial turn-ins. There is also more. Coconut cocktails would be the easiest way to get into cooking, while actually making some money out of it. Just do note you might want to level cooking to at least artisan, otherwise you can't make the boxes. I'll link BDO in the description, which will calculate how much stuff you need to make your desired amount. You can also use it to check out other imperial turn-ins. Now let's go on to gathering. Gathering is what kunoichi mains do when they are telling you that they are grinding. Gathering is the second best life skill when it comes to silver. So how do you get into gathering? Well, you grab your hoe, you go to bear, and then you gather wild herbs because you want experience. Don't stop at least until you're artisan 2. There's a reason for this, and the reason is that you will consume less energy at that specific level and then onwards, okay? Also your tool durability, but that doesn't really matter. Alternatively, if you don't want to do this, you can gather anything else that you want. Yeah, this life skill is by far the simplest to try out. However, depending on your energy amount, it has a requirement of doing the Green Thumb questline to unlock the minigames, and I will explain why soon. This questline requires your character to be at least artisan gathering. So, completing the Green Thumb questline, what does it do and why do you want it? Well, proccing the Green Thumb minigame spends 10 energy but gives you 10 times the yield of what you would usually get so long as you succeed. You don't need to do the Green Thumb questline and you don't need to use it, but keep in mind, the higher your gathering level and the more energy you have, the longer it will take for you to spend it. Green Thumb will just help you spend it faster, and it also enables you to toggle it. So, enabling you to have a choice of burning your energy or slowly spending it. What does pressing R on that fauna and lively flora do? Well, it opens up many an option, aside from just selling the gatherable stuff for money. And by this, I refer to the crafting in the cities and towns. Let me elaborate. You can make Etheria sailboats, Etheria frigates, or forest wagons, and maybe some of the other stuff that I am not gonna get into. This will all be done by materials sourced by gathering and your worker empire, together with some processing. If none of that interests you and you just wanna press R for profit, I recommend you look up the Encado Coast Lions rotation. It's pretty easy to look up, start it, and yeah. Keep in mind, this is heavily impacted by mastery though, simply because butchering mastery will give you more black shard and more lion meat. I'm not gonna talk about what the mastery does, here is what it says it does, and it does that. I'm gonna talk about how hedgehog or llama are still not free pets. The reason you would want these pets is because every time you gather, hedgehog has a chance to increase the quantity of items gathered. To motivate the Lifeskillers to get into the game, PA. Just make them swing their wallet at the barrel shop, right? Okay, you might not need the hedgehog, however, if you are perhaps doing underwater gathering, I highly recommend you get one. And now let me mention the curse sides of this life skill. Yeah, I said sides, because there is two of them. First one would be underwater gathering. This is pretty much the same as normal gathering, except you are just very much underwater and move clunkily as all hell. I'm mentioning this in case you saw a hard-boiled shellfish in BDO. Underwater gathering is not the best. I'm gonna be honest. I expected way more back when they introduced this. However, there is an upside here. Is that you gather with a hoe. And I'm not talking about the one you find in Thailand with an Adam's apple, I mean the digging tool, which means you can gather plants at bare and smack giant pearl oysters for your stuff. Aside from that, you also get, I think, the most XP if you gather with a hoe. Here's some tips if you do attempt underwater gathering. For minimum personal suffering, I recommend you spare yourself and use the green thumb. Also, Agile Seal Elixirs for underwater breathing and 5 movement speed in your combat stats. Please don't attempt a giant pearl oyster rotation without these two and a shark or fish costume, okay? If you do attempt it and you don't have a shark or fish costume, upload it on YouTube and send me a link. I need something to fall asleep to. Now, I'm not sure how much silver per hour you can make with this. You will also get shrimps and golden pearls. But if you want to combine it with cooking, the main thing that will limit you here is dried pearl oyster flesh. So here's the BDO projection of it. In case you do want to try it out, Google giant pearl oyster rotation. Good luck, you're gonna need it. There's the second cursed side of this life skill, and that's lucky arrows. Okay, this is essentially Minesweeper with extra steps. Winning it flawlessly nets you some sarcasm incoming. Great rewards! This has been forgotten and unused for years now, because straight up gathering is better, and because grinding the grass beetles near Olvia is more profitable than this. It's very niche and it requires a Trimanos hoe at least to give you somewhat of a chance at some rewards. You can make up to 100 mil. Maybe you're a pro at Minesweeper or something and that piques your interest. Try it out if you're extra bored or something, I don't know. Now with that I can say that gathering is kind of done. There is much more to this life skill, but I don't have 3 years to talk about it. Now I honestly hate it, and so does every meta slave that was playing when the mastery got introduced. If you are one of those, remember all the hours spent gathering wolf meat. Don't let me influence your opinion though, it can and is pretty chill. Next up, gatherings more violent and louder American brother. Do you live in the EU? Do you perhaps wonder how buying a gun for peanuts would feel? Because you too can introduce the scuffed AI of BDO to your blood-encrusted friend, Mr. Remington. You pull out your rifle, you shoot the wildlife until it dies, you walk up to it and introduce it to your +0 Logia butcher knife. You get meat, hide, blood and black gem fragments. You also get some hunting specific drops that you can turn into furniture and decorate your house with. These will also give you buffs if you interact with them. Now, where do you hunt? Just go where everyone goes. To Adelita, there's rhinos, shadow wolves, deer, and shadow lions there, all in one area. So this is practically the most versatile spot for musket hunting in the game. Let me also mention that this particular life skill has field bosses that spawn in the world. The blue whale, Kalk, the Griffon, and just looking at his name gives me second-hand embarrassment. I'd rather microwave a spoon than pronounce this name. Maybe blasting everything is not for you. Maybe you are a patient person. You want every one of your shots to count. Well, in that case you can opt out for sniper rifle hunting. Timing your shots while hitting the head will do the most damage and be the most rewarding, because rewards while doing this scale off of how much damage do you do to the pelt with your bullets. Hitting the head with a perfect shot does none. How do you do a perfect shot? Well, you hold the button, indicators go to orange or yellow, whatever this is, and you let it go. If you hit the head, big damage. If not, sucks to suck. Get good, mate. Anyways, where do you hunt with a sniper rifle? Land of the morning light. Here. So, hunting is pretty neat. Something I forgot to mention is that the musket can knock a whole pack of animals if you have 100% Black Spirit Rage. You aim it and you press F, then you miss and pretend you are just showing regular gameplay. So why do hunting? Hunting is the best life skill when it comes to silver. Mastery does this. Worth to mention is that you can drop these stones, which are used to enchant your life skill gear. How do you get them? Well, obviously, bigger the mastery numbers, bigger the gains. Now with hunting out of the way, did you perhaps look at my gathering and hunting segment and thought, this is disgusting. I don't wanna harm animals. I want to nurture them. Well, then training is for you, likely. Training used to be pretty complicated and there was nuance to it until dream horses became a thing. It can still be profitable though. Let's get to it. You go out in the wild, you bring a rope and 2 lumps of raw sugar. You find the nearest tree, eat the lump of raw sugar and I have wrong script. You walk up to the horses in the wild, you throw a rope around their necks, strictly second or 2 seconds before the timer runs out. You smash space. You get as close as you can to them, you feed it with sugar 2 times, and then you hope it lets you mount. After which you can run to the stables to register your newly conquered steed, whether on your own horse or on foot. You get lumps of raw sugar by heating raw sugar with mineral water, obtained at the cooking vendor, and the capturing rope at the nearest stable manager. What do you do with your captured horse? Well, you register it at the stables, as I already said. Aside from that though, you train it to level 15 and breed it. If you don't know how to train horses, you just run around till they hit level 15. It's because the horse being at level 15 opens up the Imperial trading option. Then you decide whether to keep it or sell it to Imperial horse trading. I'd say you post it on a horse market, but it's so saturated it's not even funny, at least in EU. So just stick to Imperial trading if it's not a tier 8 golden corsair, which you will know by this icon being gold. Maybe use the horse market if you do get a T8 Corsair and hope some gambling addict will buy it. Not sure how effective mastery is here. And here's what it does. So worth mentioning is that this is kind of competing with fishing. Not if you're training 1 horse at a time, okay? You can put up to 4 horses on a wagon, or 6 I think, and just train them that way. So if you can get multiple horses to 15 in one night, you can expect some decent money for just running around all night throughout the city. So that's training, I guess. Maybe you don't like animals, you like plants. That's okay. Maybe you like watching paint dry, plants grow. Go to your nearest material vendor, rent a fence, get some seeds from the marketplace or the seed vendor in Caulfield, go outside of the city, plant the fence, plant a seed, fertilize and water, use these for that by the way, and stand between 4 fences also, like just in the center of them. Once that's done, go do something else until the new button on your UI starts glowing yellow, demanding your attention, or put workers on it, which will minimize your farming experience. Now you can make money depending on what you plant, or supplement your cooking and alchemy with raw produce that you get. Once your crop goes above 99%, you can do 2 things: harvest it to get the materials according to the crop, or breed it, which has a chance to give you high rarity seeds and these. If you want to do this for profit, I recommend getting your hands on truffle mushrooms, unknown seeds, and just praying to God that it all goes well. This would be one out of the 2 life skills that I'm not sure what mastery does for it. So maybe it gives you higher drops? It doesn't say. I also must admit I haven't touched farming since my old account ran away with cacao.
Why are you running?
What if none of this interests you? What if you want to do some hard manual labor and engage in marketplace PvP? Processing is for you. Aside from being a supplementary life skill like gathering, you can also process and flip materials on the marketplace. However, you have to be very careful so someone doesn't beat you to the punch. To unlock all kinds of processing, you will have to do quests. So yeah man, I love questing in BDO. It's like playing cards in League. It's great. Mastery enables you to process bigger quantities of your materials. This means that it will make you process more with less time spent. This also ties into almost any life skill in the game. What's that you wanna cook? Wheat dough, not on the marketplace? Hope you have a processing stone. What's that? You wanna make an Etheria sailboat? That's right. Hope you got a processing stone, you unlucky sod. This skill will process lower tier materials into higher tier materials. If you do wanna engage it with gathering, here's an example. You can make advanced cooking utensils, okay? You grind rough stone into polished stone, which you get from mining rocks. Preferably here, you get usable scantling by gathering wood with an axe. Then you chop the logs that you get, okay? Logs, not pine timber, logs. And you get yourself usable scantling. Melted iron, well, you heat iron to get that. I mean, how you acquire it is none of my business. As for blackstone powder, grind like 10 armor or weapon blackstones and you will have enough of it. Now, let me ask you, have you ever wanted to roleplay as Walter White from Breaking Bad? Too bad. This game is in a medieval setting, which means none of the drugs are outlawed yet. On the other hand, that means you can now make batches of stuff in your smelly room, legally. So, meet alchemy. Now, just like I talked about cooking, basically the same applies here, except cooking utensils, you place down alchemy utensils. So, why even consider doing alchemy? Well, this profession can make the best buffs in the game, from elixir rotations to perfumes. There's always a demand for products on the marketplace. So you could say alchemy is opposite of cooking. Cooking is slow and steady and you can do it way more often. Alchemy, you have to stockpile your materials before you can make big batches of drugs to throw on the marketplace in the form of elixirs. So what does mastery for you do? The same thing as cooking mastery, with one little exception. You can also get incredibly lucky with your rare proc. Let me be real here. You are not getting lucky in your little meth lab. Trust me. On a side note, if you do get lucky, just sell it. Okay. So, changes announced at Coffee and Ball make it so that I can't actually commend you to craft anything else in good conscience, because you're gonna lose money, right? Dodge the whole of Imperial Tournaments for Alchemy, okay? Just dodge it, don't do that. Like, if you wanna do Imperial Tournaments, do cooking. Dodge the Silver Sink, you'll make way more if you sell them on the marketplace. Any of your products, okay? Even legendary base blood or some shit, I don't know. Put them on the marketplace. Now, I mentioned the Coffee and Bow update, and Coffee and Bow will essentially make all the life skills count as account-wide pretty nice, but aside from that, Alchemy is going to be either incredibly good once those changes kick in, or something to avoid. Hence why I'm saying this now. Maybe hold off into getting into this. We just level it up for now. Now let's talk about the other thing that got nuked by Kaufian Ball. I had a nice little intro about speculating the medieval stock market. Sadly, trading is getting disabled. Only the old trading is available at the moment, aside from trading boxes, which means it's not even a life skill. So you can still make timber boxes, I guess. Kaufian, you mix these 3 timbers with blackstone powder, you get a box, you connect the nodes where it was made, and you just sell them. It's whatever. Let's say the ever-changing marketplace has gotten you twisted with RNG and you have lost a moderate amount of silver on trying to flip random stuff on it. Would you like to go to simpler times where bartering and exchanging favors is how the society functioned? Well, bartering. It is as it sounds. This life skill perhaps relies the hardest on the snowballing concept. Stick with me, you'll know what I mean soon. The more you level bartering up and the more you upgrade your ship, the more money you are going to make. But aside from that, so here's an example of how it works. You press M, you open your bartering window. Now you start acquiring raw materials from the marketplace. This can either be 6 mil if you're lucky, or 28 mil is the highest I think I had to pay. So you invest from 6 to 28 million into those, okay? Once you acquire the materials, you do all the 10 exchanges to get the white bartering material. Keep following me here, okay? They are color coded. Once you acquire the white bartering materials, you will only exchange them for 3 green bartering materials, okay? Otherwise, you will hold. Once you exchange your 10 white to 30 green, you wait for another barter that will let you exchange 1 green for 3 blue. Now you hold on to those until you roll a yellow barter that offers you to trade 2 yellow for your 1 blue material. Once you do that, you repeat it and you stock up on every bartering material. It's highly desirable for you, for your silver, to stack up as much of the yellow bartering materials as you can, because they stack on top of each other. Now let's talk about why are you holding yellow materials. So that you can exchange for red materials every time they pop up. So at least keep 12 of yellow materials at all times, any kind, in your storage on area. Yellow to red is always a 1-to-1 ratio, and you can exchange for a maximum of 6 times. There are 2 reasons you want a red bartering item over your yellow one. First one is that it's 7.5 million if you vendor it. Just on a side note, yellow is 2 million silver and blue is worth 1 million silver if you vendor them. Second reason is you can exchange red materials for crow coins. Crow coins will enable you to purchase materials required to upgrade your ship and other good stuff. Let's go on to the other one, sailing. Sailing just makes you barter faster. There is a CPV element with its own field bosses, but my impoverished Furia sailboat can't handle any of them. Having said that, upgrading your ship can get overwhelming real quick, so please, if you are interested in sea content, go and watch a guide that will cover everything about it. You can find it in my description. Now, why do you want to upgrade your ship for bartering? Well, here is why. My impoverished Ephyria sailboat has evolved into an Ephyria crapvel, which means it's able to carry more stuff. That's it. The more you can carry, the longer you can stay at sea, the more money you will make. Also, you do not want to be overweight while on the sea or on the ocean, because it will take you years to get to your destination. Last and kind of the least important life skill, fishing. Man, fishing used to be fire. You could take a homie on a fishing trip, chill, watch videos on YouTube and fish together while talking shit for decent money. Sadly, now it has just an AFK skill. Here's how it works. You take that rod, you go to town. You press spacebar, that's it. You come back after 4 to 6 hours, impale all the fish that you can, so bull grade and above, the one you can, use Auto Trade Manager. This usually nets me somewhere between 6 to 20 mil, depending on the relics and the kind of fish I fish out, for 3 to 4 hours of filling my inventory with fish. You can potentially fish for longer, but I don't recommend branding your fishing rod. Speaking of which, get this rod and keep it specifically for fishing events and when they are active. And the fish in these events are usually worth 500k, and they are pretty good if you need to leave the house for a while, let me just say that. What does fishing mastery do? Well, it enhances your AFK fishing. You can also go harpooning. So harpooning is in the same place as Lucky Arrows, except even more outdated and even more inconvenient, because you need to go to Margoria to have a chance to make some money. Not a lot, some money. I'm not gonna show you how. Okay, go here, you can drop these two. They sell for 50 and 100 mil. Good luck if you wanna try it. Also, have about 1.2k mastery to be able to drop the 100 mil one. There you go. That's all the life skills. Man, Calfian Bow threw a wrench into my script. Aside from that, I will also put a life skilling Discord in the description, a sailing Discord, which is a Discord to get you started with sailing dailies if you are interested, and is related to more advanced ocean content as well. Do note that you don't need to invest to try these out. You can try these all out, see the ones that vibe the most with you. I end the video now. This took ages to make, so hope you enjoyed the video. Take out that subscribe button and hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a beautiful day.